Picture this. You're monitoring an underwater listening device in the vast, pitch-black expanse of the South Pacific, and suddenly, your equipment registers this absolutely massive, low-frequency sound. It's so incredibly loud that it's actually being picked up by sensors located thousands of kilometers apart. I mean, what could possibly make a sound of that magnitude? For years, this was the exact question keeping oceanographers awake at night.
Naturally, when human beings encounter a mystery on that kind of scale, our imaginations just run wild, right? The internet blew up with theories about giant, undiscovered sea monsters or hidden underwater civilizations, but the scientific reality that eventually came to light was honestly just as awe-inspiring. That massive sound? It was actually the cracking and shifting of colossal Antarctic icebergs deep beneath the ocean's surface. It's a perfect example of how completely natural physical processes can seem totally supernatural before we truly understand them.
Welcome to This Explainer. I am so thrilled to have you here today because we're about to go on a bit of a detective's journey together to solve some of our planet's absolute greatest acoustic puzzles. From the deepest, darkest trenches of the ocean all the way to the silent vacuum of space, we're going to be exploring the most mysterious sounds ever recorded and discovering exactly what science has to say about them. Let's dive in.
Section 1. Deep Ocean Acoustic Mysteries. Okay, so let's crack open our first set of case files from way down in the abyss. You see, the late 1990s were kind of this golden age for capturing massive, totally baffling underwater signals, mostly thanks to some huge advancements in global sensor networks. In 1997, we detected that giant iceberg sound I mentioned earlier, which scientists affectionately dubbed the Bloop. Then jumped to 1999, and researchers recorded another famous anomaly they called Julia. Julia lasted for several seconds and had this highly unique frequency pattern. So, was it volcanic activity, shifting glaciers, geological movement? Experts largely point to large ice formations interacting with the ocean, but getting to absolute certainty down there is just incredibly difficult. And this really illustrates exactly why that certainty is so hard to lock down. Over 80% of our oceans remain completely unexplored. When a strange sound originates from a totally remote environment at the literal bottom of the world, trying to identify the culprit is, well, it's like trying to find a needle in a pitch-dark haystack. Because so much is unexplored, the ocean's library of weird acoustics is just vast. We're talking sounds named upsweep, train, slowdown, whistle. These signals were total mystery when they were first captured. But over time, diligent researchers managed to link them to natural phenomena like underwater volcanic activity, massive seismic movements, shifting ice, and marine mammals.
Section 2. Strange Sounds from Above.
So the ocean definitely doesn't get to have all the fun here. Moving up into the atmosphere, we run into one of the most intriguing mysteries out there, known quite simply as the hum. Now, unlike those deep-sea sounds that are only picked up by advanced scientific instruments, the hum is actually heard directly by everyday people. It's this persistent, low-frequency rumbling noise, and it's mostly noticeable during the dead of night. What's completely wild about this is that it's been reported across the UK, the US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Yet only a very small percentage of the population in those areas actually hears it. Their neighbors might hear absolutely nothing.
Now, contrast that quiet, localized hum with another widespread phenomenon known as Sky Trumpets. While the hum is a low rumble often linked to industrial machinery or even individual hearing conditions, Sky Trumpets are a whole different beast. People describe them as metallic noises, crazy loud booms, and giant horns echoing across entire cities. Naturally, social media fueled rumors of secret military experiments or alien spacecraft coming down for a visit. But as you might guess, the actual scientific investigations are incredibly grounded. The truly crucial point here is that the atmosphere itself can literally act as a giant, invisible amplifier. Whether it's distant construction equipment, commercial aircraft, or just natural vibrations, specific weather conditions can essentially grab those ordinary noises, carry them unusually long distances, and distort them into terrifying metallic booms that sound like the end of the world.
Section 3. Eerie Noises in Space.
All right, let's leave Earth behind entirely for a second. Now, before we talk about sounds in space, we have to acknowledge a pretty strict rule of physics. Sound cannot travel through the vacuum of space in the same way it travels through Earth's atmosphere. Space is, by its very nature, completely silent to the human ear. So you might be sitting there wondering, how on earth do space agencies have these massive libraries of supernatural-sounding recordings from out there?
Well, the workaround is absolutely brilliant. Step 1, our spacecraft detect things like electromagnetic waves, plasma oscillations, and charged particles zooming around out in the cosmos. Step 2, scientists take that raw data and they artificially convert it into audible frequencies that our human ears can actually process. And finally, step 3, we get to hear these incredible, eerie whistles, crackles, and just haunting tones generated by the powerful magnetic fields of planets like Jupiter and Saturn. It's literally invisible planetary activity translated into unforgettable audio.
Bringing things back down to Earth, our own planet's shifting physical landscapes create pretty amazing symphonies of their own. In certain deserts, shifting dunes create what's known as singing sand, literally moving grains that generate deep, musical hums. Conversely, up in cold climates, the expanding and contracting ice on frozen lakes creates these super high-pitched, laser-like echoes. Our planet is constantly singing to us, entirely naturally.
Section 4. Psychology and fake audio.
Transitioning into the modern era, we really have to address the elephant in the room. Digital editing software, artificial intelligence, and rapid social media sharing have created a massive hurdle for acoustic researchers. A viral video featuring a terrifying, unexplained hum or an apocalyptic boom can easily spread to millions of people before scientists even have a chance to verify if the audio is authentic or just completely manufactured.
So to combat these digital fakes, audio experts have to rely on a super rigorous scientific method. They don't just sit back and listen to the sound, they literally tear the audio file apart. First, they examine the background noise for any inconsistencies. Then, they audit the recording equipment and check the environmental data from the time of the recording. And finally, they analyze the exact frequency patterns because true scientific investigation requires reproducible evidence, not just an isolated viral video. This whole process is absolutely crucial for separating genuine phenomena from clever hoaxes.
But sometimes the deception isn't digital at all, it's biological. Human hearing is remarkably sensitive, sure, but it is definitely flawed. Think about it. Our expectations, our stress levels, and even our media consumption can completely alter how we interpret unfamiliar noises. If you've just read some spooky internet thread about alien spaceships, and then you hear a distant industrial drone in the quiet of the night, your brain's cognitive biases might easily trick you into perceiving a totally ordinary event as something absolutely extraordinary.
Section 5. Embracing the unknown.
Ultimately, when we find out that a mythical giant sea monster was actually just a shifting Antarctic iceberg, it really doesn't ruin the magic. If anything, it proves how dynamic, how powerful, and how incredibly complex our planet truly is. Every single new recording, whether it's echoing from a deep-sea trench or captured by a satellite passing Saturn, gives us an amazing opportunity to learn more about the awe-inspiring systems operating all around us. So I want to leave you with this final thought. Our global sensor networks, underwater microphones, and machine learning tools are getting better and better every single day. As we listen closer to the oceans, the atmosphere, and the stars, what incredible, unexplained sound is out there right now just waiting to be captured next? Keep your ears open, stay curious, and thank you so much for exploring the mysteries of the acoustic world with me today.